I have just received word that we are ready for Super Dream Dasher Any Percent by Bullets. Get excited, and let's send it away to Bullets. Good luck.
How's it going, everyone? Everyone having a good night? I'm very tired. This is Super Dream Dasher. This is a fun little indie platformer. It'll be a nice chill time. We're gonna have a good fun time with this. On couch, would you guys like to introduce yourselves? I don't know who you guys are. You guys kind of just walked on here.
Sure.
What's up?
Hi, I'm Amyrlinn.
You let us walk here.
I have seen Bee speedrun this game a couple of times,
At least a couple.
and I'm here to just help.
And I'm metallama.
Okay, awesome. We're gonna get started in 3, 2, 1, go. So we skipped the cutscene. There's some cool story stuff happening there. So buy the game if you want to watch the cutscene. Like I said, it's half off. Anyways, so this game is Super Dream Dasher. The main movement is dashing around. So anytime we can just hold right and dash, that's the fastest movement, and that's how you look when you die. So anyways, we're gonna try not to do that. This is Homely Hills. This is kind of the starting area where you're learning how to do everything and learning not to run into spikes, hopefully, as we're going through. You can dash in any of the 8 directions for your D-pad, so there's no silly strats where you have to hold like a specific angle, because I can't do that, so. But as we're going through, the game kind of, like I mentioned in the interview before, the game kind of builds on itself as you're going. So every 5 levels or so, it's going to introduce a new enemy type or a different mechanic. Or a different hazard. Like we have the spiky enemies here, and as you can imagine, if you hit the spike on top of their head, you die, which is not good. So we're gonna try not to do that again. But yeah, we also have these nice little turnip chains that are here, and if you hit them, you go really fast, and you follow on them. So that's a spike, by the way. Don't do that. Whenever you die in this game, the countdown, the ready, set, go countdown actually speeds up, so the game isn't too punishing when you die, at least, and these levels are so short that it's not the end of the world, at least. So we're through the first 5 levels. There's 4 worlds, and each of them has 15 normal levels, and then the boss fight at the end of it. So we have a lot of game to go. So we're in this new area now. We have these vines that we're swinging on. Whenever you hit them, it'll just kind of go in this sort of swinging pattern. We don't really want to go on these because, you know, it's not holding right and dashing, so we don't want to do it, but there's a lot of these levels that are just kind of designed around it. Please don't hit that. Thank you. Appreciate that. There we go. Cool. Anyways, you'll notice on the pause screen there, it's showing kind of a ranking for it, and the way to get the highest rank in this game is to collect all these turnips that are everywhere, hit every single enemy, and hit them in close enough succession to each other that you keep a combo up, and also finish it in a certain amount of time. So we'll not be doing any of that because it's so much faster usually to just avoid all the different turnips and just kind of zip through the level, avoiding a lot of the enemies. So there's only one level we might get it on, but we'll see. So this is the first level that we have kind of a fun strat on, which is just going on the ceiling and dashing as fast as we can to get to the other end. You actually might have noticed there's a fruit up there that was just kind of hanging out, having, just living its best life. There's a secret fruit hidden in each world. One of the 15 levels has a fruit hidden in it, and it unlocks a cool cosmetic you can wear that normally you get them by using these turnips we're collecting and buying it. But they are kind of designed after each boss in each area, and that'll actually be important later, but for now, the one we collected is not important. But remember that for like 15, 20 minutes from now.
Epic foreshadowing.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're in another set of levels, so we have these monkeys that are throwing coconuts at us. You can't lock on, so I actually haven't talked too much about the locking on, but you can't lock onto the coconuts that they throw, but you can lock onto the monkey. But if you do get hit by the coconut, you just kind of die unless you just started dashing towards them. So generally try to either sneak in right before they throw it or right afterwards so you don't kind of get caught in between. But you'll see the circle that kind of goes around anything whenever Wish is pointed at it. Wish has kind of an auto lock on with their dash. anytime they're pointed at something and it's got that circle around it, Wish will just go in a straight line towards it. It doesn't matter if there's like an edge of a platform in the way or something spiky. Wish just does not care. We'll just go for it. So we do have a fun little skip here. We can use the coconuts that are falling down there to slip through like the first half of the level and just go straight to the end. So that's normally a 25-second level. You can just... We're actually almost at the end of the first area. Actually, while this is going on, this might be a good time to sneak in a couple donations before we get to the boss.
Well, our donators are quite excited to see you. $10 from the Comfy Panda, who says, super excited to see Bullets run Super Dream Dasher and for Helix to begin their host shift. Good luck to you both.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you from me as well.
All right, this is the first boss. This is the Nut King. So his attacks are, I don't even know if it's worth explaining. His first attack is he slams the ground. His second attack is that he dashes to the side like this. He's got 3 health, so we've already got him down 2 health. And he spawns these friends here. We're gonna get those out of the way. So he's gonna go to the side 3 entire times. 2, 3. My goodness, what a boss fight. We didn't even get an S rank on it. Oh well, guess we have to reset. More plot. We're gonna skip that.
I think you described this to me in the practice room as the bosses are easy, very hard, very hard.
Yep, pretty much. So once we wait for the third boss, I might pull out my hair during that. It's gonna be great. Anyways, we just bought a power up. They're called flavors in this game, but the only important one for the speedrun is the one called speed, as you might expect. It just makes your dashes. Your dash takes the same time, but it makes you go further. So you'll just kind of see as we're going along here, there's certain movement or strats to the level that you can't do without it. So if you forget to put it on, you'll get a few levels in. It's like, why is this not going the direction it should? So that happens every once in a while. Anyways, we're in the second area of the game, and since it's a snow area, we have all this ice everywhere. Anytime you dash on the ice, you get a bunch of speed. Usually too much speed, and you just run into one of these spikes or something like that. So we're gonna try to avoid that. We also have the water that's everywhere, and you can dash as much as you want while you're in the water, but when you're dashing in it, your momentum dies a lot quicker. So you'll see as I'm going, I'm having to mash a lot more in the water to keep my speed up. So you usually want to avoid going in there, but a lot of these levels are just designed around going in it anyways. We have kind of like an upgraded version of the enemies with the spikes in their head. We have enemies with very big spiky shells on them. And the enemies can be a little bit weird. Sometimes I've had it where I hit them straight on, where they don't have their shell, and Wish will just cease to exist. And sometimes you hit them straight in the shell, and they're just like, oh, I guess I'm dead. So we just try to like stay away from them as much as possible and not chance it. And like I was saying before, Wish likes to target onto anything nearby, so we just try to keep Wish away from anything dangerous. It's kind of like babysitting a kid, so. Yeah.
What did you just do there then?
So that's a spike. We don't want to run into those anymore. The hitboxes for the spikes are like very, very fair. Like if you touch like the smallest edge of it, come on, Wish, let's go. It'll kill you. So we're gonna respect those a little bit more in the future. Anyways, we have the new thing for this area. A lot of this levels are underwater, and we have these underwater mines. If you run into the mine, you might be surprised to find that you actually die. But they also are connected to the ground for a lot of them. And if you unhook them from the ground, they will eventually explode when they run into something. And as long as that explosion animation's going, you will die if you run into it. So even as it's like kind of like ending, if you chance it a little bit early, it will still kill you. So I wait very, very patiently. You can also do fun stuff like this where you just get rid of all the mines out of the way by hugging the bottom to speed things along a little bit. Yeah. While we're finishing up the next level here, might also be a good time for another donation.
Sounds good to me. I have $5 here from FDH, who says, hi B, you're amazing. Let's dash them dreams or something. IDK this game. Shout outs to the 104 crew.
Woo! Thank you very much. We do have a new enemy type. It's like, just keeps adding more and more stuff. My goodness, why would you do that? I just want the game to be the same the entire time. But we have these like cannon enemies, and they shoot bombs at you. And if you hit the bomb, you just kind of like bounce it a bunch of times. You don't actually destroy it or get rid of it. It just keeps bouncing around, and it'll eventually blow up in your face. So it happens before sometimes where you try to like dash past it, and you just keep juggling it up, and then Wish just explodes. So we're trying not to do that. Anyways, next levels. We have these stalactites that'll come down on us. I mean, for the most part, they shouldn't be an issue, but I know I'm gonna eat my words in like 5 seconds, so wait for that. That'll be fun. It also has like the best soundtrack in the game, so really, really like it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, B, have you explained the special glitch jumps yet? I guess
That's probably a good thing to explain while we're going through here, since we. Okay. That's not where I'm supposed to go at all. So normally when you dash around, if you dash at the ground, you just kind of splat on the ground. You just stop moving. If you hold dash and jump while you're dashing at the ground, you get a bunch of height, and we'll see that a little bit later. But it allows you to get a lot more height than you normally would, and lets you reach areas you normally wouldn't be able to. So we'll be using that a lot to, especially in the final world as we get to it, but also in the next one coming up, we'll be using it a lot to get, just generally for movement, but also to skip certain things as we're going through. This level is just, what if we put a lot of mines everywhere? And the places we don't have mines, let's put the cannon enemies, so. We're gonna be a little careful, but.
How difficult is it to keep Wish from like auto-targeting something you don't want to during that?
It's, to continue with the
Oh.
So, you know the thing I said about the stalactites, or they're stalagmites, right? Because they might fall down, right? Isn't that the way you remember? Anyways.
Yeah, no clue.
Sure.
You're the runner.
I'm the runner. I decide what words mean what. But what were we talking about? Okay, so that's another stalagmite. Anyways, I was gonna say that for whatever reason.
Auto-targeting.
Oh yeah, auto-targeting. Yeah, it's keeping Wish from doing things you don't want Wish to do is very difficult. Long story short. Like if anything is with whatever direction you're pointed, you can see the little arrow that's in front of Wish, and whatever that's pointed at, if there's something along that way, Wish will go towards it. Whether
There we go.
Oop, there we go. So we have our second boss fight, and like Amy said, this is a real challenging fight. I know as soon as I say that I'm gonna die to it, but I have to jinx it. It's fine. So he's also got he's got 3 attacks. He's got 1 more attack than the previous boss had, which makes him 50% more dangerous. So he'll do 1 attack, and then he'll shoot a bomb at us, and he's gonna do these other 2 attacks now. So it's random what order they show up in and which one's in each phase. So this one's just spawning enemies and kind of poking out of the ground, and this is just 3 little ice balls falling after you. But we can bait these wherever we're standing, so we're gonna try to move these out of the way so we can hit the bomb as quickly as possible. And by that I mean let it fall on the ground. If it falls on the ground, you have to do the entire cycle over again, so don't do that. Again, as soon as I talked about the fight being easy. So I'm gonna stutter step these over here. So this is the glitch jump here. You can just see that you just keep going up and don't come down. Cool. 3, 4.
There we go.
Easy.
And Wish is dead. Oh, you beat the level. Cool. So you can die at the same time the boss dies there, and as long as you don't mash, it will count as you defeating the boss and let you move on. So we're fine. Everything's okay. So this is the next area. So this also has water, but the water is like spicy water. So if you go in it and you completely get submerged in it, you just die. So the only way to really go around it is if you dash diagonally at it, you'll skip off of it like we saw there. So we'll be using that a lot to get around it. You can kind of save yourself as you're sinking into it if you dash out of it, but it slows down your dash so much that most of the time it's not going to work out for you. I have no clue I didn't hit that bug there, but that's okay.
The bug was being nice.
Yeah, it's a pacifist run. Don't look at all. Nope. Look away. But we have these mushroom platforms that also launch us in the air and are gonna move us around. They're not too much faster than just mashing, but they're nice for kind of switching directions quickly and having consistency with they're always going to be in the same position. We do have these horned beetle enemies that are going to pop up here, and they will eventually, once you're on the screen long enough, dash towards you and kill you. So they, similar to all the other kind of enemies with any sort of spiky, pointy things, we just kind of give them a wide berth and just go around them. Yeah, we're gonna go up here and we're gonna grab this turnip chain that's kind of off screen and get over to the next set of levels.
Why does it break up into 5 like that?
I don't know. To give you a nice little breather. We have these dandelions here. We don't want to touch those dandelions as much as we can. Every time you hit them, it'll spawn these little these seeds for you to keep hitting to use to get to different areas. You're supposed to use them to maneuver around, and you'll see one here in a second for what I mean. But for the most part, I want to avoid it because, like what we were saying before, with how Wish will kind of just target onto random things, we really don't want that to happen. So we're actually going to do a glitch jump here that is a little, there we go.
Hey, nice job.
It's a little precise getting up there. We were in the practice room and I was just like trying it over and over again and struggling. So I'm happy that we could at least get it there.
Definitely way more precise than they made it look, and it's all done in like 10 seconds.
We also have these kind of like Venus flytrap platforms where whenever you touch it, it will eventually snap, but it doesn't really matter for us because we really shouldn't be standing on the platform for that long. If we are, something's gone wrong. Again, I'm gonna eat my words one of these times. I'm just jinxing myself, but again, we're gonna avoid that beetle. And if you dash at the right time there, your dash ends before you hit the dandelion, so it won't spawn all the extra stuff and kill your momentum. But actually, as we're making it through this 10th level and just kind of skipping on the water, it's also a good time for any plugs or donations you might have.
Well, I actually wanted to mention the bid war for the run right after this, Warden Melody of the Undergrowth by Jaxler. You all, with your donations, can choose the final boss, and I mention this because it is extremely close right now, with Emperor in the lead with $220 and Neono with $201, a $19 difference, so a donation as low as $20 could be the difference maker.
While you were plugging that, a lot of things happened that I didn't want to have happen, but it's all okay. We finished the level.
You didn't die. So that is
I started going
ultimate-
directions.
That is the ultimate thing you did not want to have happen, and it didn't happen. So everything's okay.
Yeah, as long as we don't die, the time loss is only so much unless I just stand still and start talking with you guys, which I don't think staff would appreciate very much, so I'm going to not do that. But yeah, we have these new bubbles that got introduced. If you dash into the bubble, it'll preserve your momentum whatever direction you're going. If you just go into it, you'll just stand still and most likely die. Oh, so that's the thing I was talking about before with how you target onto things no matter if there's something in the way. The edge of that platform is there, and if you dash too early, it'll just bump it, and instead of hitting the mushroom, you just kind of get bounced into the water, and the game laughs at you. So that's something you have to be very mindful of, because as you're trying to speed things up and rush things a little bit more, you start cutting those corners, and if you try to literally cut those corners, the game will punish you for it, and it doesn't end up working out. Ooh, where are we? What is this level? I've never seen this level before in my life.
I'm pretty sure you've seen it before.
Nope, never.
No?
They actually added a new level right now. I'm playing it for the first time. All right, we have the 15th level now. This is a lot of just skipping off the water. Also, I don't know why the water is a different color now. I like the other color we had before, but that's okay. Well, I guess this isn't really colored at all. It's just, I don't know. Anyways, so, I don't know what's happening. I'll say it's a controller issue and continue. But this level is a lot of just, again, it's just trying to avoid these dandelions, trying to avoid the horned beetles, and just skip off the water for the most part. Up here, but we do have the boss fight, and like Amy said before, this is a very, very tough boss fight. It's all the bosses that we're gonna fight have 3 health. So this boss, similar to the one we did before, we'll do 1 attack, then 2 attacks, and then do all 3 attacks. So we have this laser beam attack, which is just gonna track us as we're going, which isn't too bad by itself, but as we start getting into these attacks where they're comboed together, it can get worse. And every time we do damage, we have less platforms to stand on afterwards. So we have to be really mindful of that.
Okay,
And
that was good luck at least there.
yeah,
This definitely isn't one of those like, haha, we're joking. It's super easy. This boss is actually very hard.
Yep, the saw blade is like the big problem because the saw blade lasts for a really long time, so it just chases you during other attacks. So we want the saw blade to be the last attack if we get lucky, which we did not get, unfortunately.
And one of the big issues is wish targeting on enemies as you're trying to like dodge the other attacks. So, having all the
No! I thought I could bounce off of it.
Oh, that's sad.
Oh well.
That was so
We get to see the
close.
fight again. I love this fight. So you'll see this time around it'll potentially be in a different order. We got the same first attack though, which is kind of nice. So, anyways, that's why this fight can be very challenging. Is usually you'll live until the last phase of it, and then at that point you lose like a minute for dying. So the game can be punishing for this boss fight specifically, like a lot more than other ones. So.
Also, Dipterodon will just fly in random directions.
Yeah, sometimes the pterodon will fly like right in your face and just stand there and stare at you. It's not great. All right, we're gonna try to.
Please be nice, Saw Blade.
Saw blade should be out of the way now. I just need to not do what I did last time. We're gonna nice and gentle. There we
There
go.
we
There we
Cool.
go.
Cool. More plot, more lore. Something something by the game.
Oh yeah, isn't there essentially a world tree that's just a turnip?
Yes,
a
there's-
massive turnip.
The entire plot of the game is that there's a giant turnip that a clock wizard is controlling and corrupting and shattering the entire world, and the clock wizard is a JoJo reference, and that's the plot. So yeah, we're in the core of the planet now because it's been fractured and everything's everywhere. So that's why everything's very weird. We have these spinning planets that we stick to. We have the orbs that are. Oh, I said orb. Oh my goodness! I was trying.
Oh.
The entire run. We have the switches that look circular that turn off the electric fields there that would kill Wish. So we'll have to deal with those a little bit. We also have the buns enemies, which are the ones with the really long legs, and they will just chase after you if you get close enough. So this can be a little annoying as well. But there's a bunch of new stuff that gets added in this area, and it just keeps adding more stuff. The spiky enemies are back, and now they're rotating in space. So as we're going through here, if we get off cycle, if we get stuck somewhere for a little bit, the normal pattern we're used to where the spikes are like maybe not facing towards us and get thrown off, and you have to start doing some weird strats to get through. So we're hoping just to keep along with this level, especially because it's a very long level, and it's easy if you miss one of your dashes or if you mess it up a little bit, or Wish decides to target onto something they're not supposed to. Anyways, we're gonna go over here. We're avoiding a lot of the leveler, please.
Oh.
They patched it. So to be very careful to go through here the same way well, I don't know why Wish dashed that direction. That's weird. Sometimes Wish wants to go whatever direction Wish wants to go, and we're just kind of along for the ride. So there we go. For whatever reason, Wish was not targeting direction. There we go. Cool. Now we're gonna try to hit. There we go.
There we go.
All right, that's just the first 5 levels. So we have this section is very challenging, and during record runs especially, like I think you can't have like more than like a death or 2 on this to get through it and have a record. So, but you'll notice now we're starting to. That's weird. You'll notice now as we're going through, we're using the glitch jump we were talking before, or just dashing over the walls to get around these different sections. You're normally supposed to go down there or go kind of around things normally, but we'll be using a lot more because the other levels have like invisible walls that go past the ceiling, so you can't get on top of them. This area doesn't have that, and I think it's actually by design for a lot of it. So we'll be using that to our advantage. Anytime we get close to the top of the walls, we'll be using that to get over. We're gonna do a glitch jump here, get over. You can do one over there, but it's a little bit...
Ooh, there we go.
My brain just turned off for a second, and I was going the completely wrong direction.
It turned on just right at the right time.
Yeah, I'm like, where's Wish? I don't know. I don't have object permanence. It's a little challenging. We're doing another glitch jump here and another one here. We'll be using it a lot for this last section since there's a lot of just high walls blocking the way. We have these.
Luckily, those switches only turn off for a certain period of time. So if B misses it, they've got to go back and do it again.
We have these laser beam enemies as well that are popping up. As long as you don't stay in their range for too long, they won't actually be able to shoot a laser at you, so there's only a few chances for that. This level is actually very important for the run. Like I was talking about before, the hidden fruits in each of the areas. There's one hidden here, and it's actually slower to go grab it, but it's important to grab it for this area specifically. It'll be important later. And by later, I mean in 5 levels, because we're running out of run. But we are heading through this. We have I didn't talk about portals at all, but portals are portals. You understand it. You've seen a portal run before. You go through one portal, you come out the other portal. Any momentum you had, you keep going through it. If you dash through it, you don't get your dash back. So there's a lot of points where you dash. It's designed where you dash through it, and then you go to the other end, and you realize you needed that dash, and then you die, and then have to do it again. But this is the last thing the new thing that's going to be added to the run is these smoke clouds that are here. It kind of acts like water in the fact that you can dash as much as you... Why are you up there?
There we go.
Got the bloodlust in it.
Yeah, you just wanted to go for the button there. But the smoke cloud also will just keep going. You can't move normally. You can't just use your D-pad and just start moving wish a direction. Like, you have to dash. So if you don't time your dashes out correctly, you can just be forced to kind of drift very slowly with your very reduced momentum through the smoke cloud, waiting because there's like an enemy on the other side that you don't want to dash too far and run into. But yeah, we only have a few more levels. Like kind of the other worlds, the 13th and 14th level have a lot of stuff going on, and then the 15th level is usually kind of a culmination of everything, but ends up, in this case, being a little bit easier as we're going through. Oh, also the red smoke clouds, you die if you touch them, so we're not going to do that.
They definitely look red and angry, so I can understand not wanting to touch those.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going to go through here. We're doing a lot of little stuff as we're going through these levels, including like hitting this enemy and then using it to go up there and kind of skip the section there. We're going to hope that Wish doesn't target the enemy. There we go. If Wish targets onto the enemy there, you just like... There's nothing you can do. So you have to hope Wish behaves for like 1 second, which is a lot to ask for. So this is all we're gonna do for level 15. We're just gonna go here, and we're just gonna go over, and we're gonna fall really far. And there's the end of the level right over here. There's a whole section you have to go down and do a bunch of stuff for, and we're not gonna do any of that. So we're gonna not go do the final boss. We're gonna go over here. There's a whole area here of stuff we can do, but we're gonna go over here. And we're gonna equip that outfit we got from the secret that we ended up picking up in this area. And time is actually coming up once this
really soon.
Once I press continue at the end of this boss fight. So this boss fight has 2 different phases. Each phase is 3 health. There's 3 different attacks he can do. And he's dead, so unfortunately we're not going to see any of that. But imagine if we had fought him. That would have been 2 minutes of time we would have lost. Okay, that's time. Cool. So, for whatever reason, the outfit for this boss, none of the other ones do anything. But if you do the taunt for that one outfit, if you just hold up, it kills the boss instantly. So, it's obviously a little bit faster. But this boss is very, very challenging, so I'm happy we don't have to do it for this run anymore. But obviously, thank you, Amy. Thank you, metallama, for being on commentary for this. Thank you, everyone, for staying up and supporting all the lovely early morning indie runs. A lot of good stuff still. Please stick around for it. And thank you for having me. I'll be doing Me Scoozy later on in the Silly Block, so stick around for all the lovely games we're going to have this week.
What a fantastic run, and what a neat game. With an especially fun soundtrack. I had a lot of fun during that run. Let's get another round of applause for Bullets. Our donators are pretty excited too. There's $25 here from Chudley, who says, Bullets, Jaxler, TBCR, Lizstar, and so many other amazing runners and commentators tonight has been convinced this is a bonus silly block. And you just saw Bullets, and you will see Jaxler next, running Warden Melody of the Undergrowth, right after this break. Welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2022, powered by Twitch. Coming up in just a few moments will be Warden Melody of the Undergrowth by Jaxler. And there is a hotly contested bid war for this upcoming run. You can choose the final boss of this run, and it is extremely close, with Emperor in the lead with $220 and Iona right on Emperor's tail with $201. Your donation could be the difference not only in this bid war, but also on a larger scale by supporting Doctors Without Borders. And right as I mention it, $20 comes in from Meg, who says, I want to see Iona for the Warden Melody of the Undergrowth run. And we are now tied. Emperor and Iona are tied at $220 apiece for the Melody of the Undergrowth, the Warden Melody of the Undergrowth, final boss bid war.